Buongiorno to everyone here in the Mugello, here in the Scarperia. Hang on, I need to double check the name. I wanted to make sure that I get the name right. It's welcome everyone to Scarperia e San Piero in Florence, in Tuscany, here in the Mugello circuit for Split A of round 11 of the 2024-25 Formula Hololive International season. We're here for the Mugello Super Break coming right up for you. Let's take a brief look into the track map here in Split A. This track is really a funny looking paperclip, but it's still a very interesting track because this one has a lot more high-speed corners to talk about, so it may hurt the tires. Anyways, 5.2 kilometers of the racetrack for one single lap to deal with. 15 corners in total. 48 laps for this race in the Mugello Super Break. The target lap time 1:41.395. It's the final Split A race of the season, and indeed the final split race of the season, and it's the final Super Prix of the season with Raora Panthera and Kaminari Riba ready to rumble at home here in Mugello. With that being said, let's take a look into the, well, it's not really the trophy. I just wanted to check what the trophy does look like. Let me just hang on, just wanted to remind everyone, this is what the trophy looks like for Formula Hololive International. It will be awarded to the winner of the 23-24 awarded to whoever wins the Formula Hololive International season. Of course, this was awarded to Aziz Muazif in 23-24. This is what it looks like here. So it will be given to whoever wins the season, because right now we have 4 title contenders left. Speaking of title contenders, let's take a look into the championship order. Of course, it was a base of the drive time after round 10, and this one doesn't take into account what happened in the Spielberg Super Prix. However, it is an interesting sight to see, because after this race, Ryan Gagawa now leads Javier Lusby by 106 points, I believe. Yeah, and Joshua Zurid, who is racing in Split A, will be racing. Is now currently only 263 points. A win here in Mugello will mean that Zurid will slash down the gap to only 63 points and overtake Javier Lusby for second place in the standings. Unfortunately, I'd like to report that Muhammad Reza is already out of title contention, and pending any results coming their way, it could mean that Lia Kai and Enzio Ferrari will be joining in the title hunt. But as it stands right now, we will take a look into the championship standings after this later on. And speaking of which, yes, Formula Hololive, if you haven't heard it before, it's basically Hololive racing based on the bright idle outfits. But anywho, let's move that out of the way as we're going to move ourselves into the race. So, my name is Muhammad Reza in the commentary booth, and we are going to get the qualifying session underway here in the Mugello Super Prix. Technically, it's the final race for Hololive racing, as we are going to see the first cars out on track. And it just so happens to be the driver running in second in the standings for Mori Calliope, Joshua Azurid. We're seeing the blue and pink helmet based on his Oshi. Azurid is going to try to see if this will be something for him. And speaking of which, we will see the man of the race here, Kaminari Riba, had to fly all the way from Yeongnam yesterday to make his way into the track. He has made the track an hour ago and has strapped into the Raora number 60. This is the case of an Italian racing for a Romance people of someone from the Romance Empire. So essentially this means Italy, as she also has been able to speak Italian. And so Kaminari Riba is essentially racing for a hometown member in what is essentially a home race for Kaminari Riba. Riba hasn't had the opportunity to race at home So we have essentially given him the chance to race. So anyways, we've got a qualifying session underway here in Mugello, a track known for motorbikes and Formula 1 at one time. And never fails to provide racing, especially anyone coming out from the final corner into turn 1. So with that being said, let's go into Kaminari Riba as he is about to finish his basically warm-up lap for him to start a lap into Buccine, the final corner. Kaminari Riba, he's gonna probably go for a late apex for him to get a great exit from the final corner into the main straight. A very, very long one, so you can absolutely stretch the car. Technically, this track has a lot in common with Fuji. Into San Donato, turn 1, as he is about to get blocked by, that looks like Monozetaro in the Crony number 92, into Luco and Poggio Secco in turns 2 and turn 3, hanging on in third gear, and then in a short burst into Materassi, turn 4, into San Lorenzo, turn 5, as he continues to get blocked. And then into the fast turn 6, 7, 8 section, Casanova. That's the downshift, the 4th gear. Bit flat, had to lift in Savelli. And then into the 2 Arrabbiata corners, turns 8, try to go around the outside to get past Monozetaro, but Monozetaro is basically blocking him, into flat out into the second part of Arrabbiata. Into Scarperia, turn 10. And then a left-hander, Palazzo, 3rd gear. Go faster and into Correntallo, or in Correntaio in turn 12. And then into the Biondetti chicane. Feels like an S here, and you can go flat on that part. And into Buccine, the final corner. Actually, we have missed the mark on the lap time targets by a mile, and everyone has been able to set 130s. As Kaminari Riba is gonna try again to see if he's able to clear Monozetaro, but I think he might just be able to do it. And this time Kaminari Riba gets to clear Zetaro, as both will still go side by side. Riba will now have a home free run. Let's see if we can see any improvements from him. Kind of. As Azuret now sets provisional pole. As they now come into the fast corners coming up. And then into the Arrabbiata. Joshua that is a Kaminari Riba. As we're gonna see how far he's gone. It looks to me that he's able to get into 7th. As that's Zetaro and Evans going side by side. Evans now currently in 3rd. And now into the long Correntaio corner as he now approaches Biondetti. Flat out right here and into the final corner. And Buccine. Looking pretty comfortable here as Zacharias. Also, I just want to remind everyone that Zacharias makes his Formula Hololive debut for Nanashi-Mume in what will be Nanashi-Mume's penultimate race in Formula Hololive. Zacharias trying to carry this race, carry his car right until the very end. Kaminari Riba now sets a 1:38.74 at home, despite being pretty much jet lagged and feeling pretty tired from his run here, from traveling across the world. Anyways, more side-by-side action coming in between Zetaro, who's currently in 12th, currently blocks Aziz Muasif, who's currently running in 5th. There's still one more car who haven't made a run, and right now we are going to check on who. Oh, and that's Louis Boschval having a problem in his car. He can't get himself out. Looks like he has a broken transmission, so Louis Boschval isn't going to compete any further in this qualifying session. Unfortunately, the automaton's car isn't going to be moving. But anywho, we still have the rest of the field. Joshua Zurich, this is exactly what he needs as he is currently parked in the pits. He is currently on pole position right now. but anyone between Sims, Evans, Zacharias, or basically anyone could try to mount a challenge to Azurid. So right now we are just going to check on the other 3 minutes of this qualifying session, and as Leah Kai has improved her time, she now goes up into 5th. And Kaminari Riba, holy smokes, mamma mia. Kaminari Riba now sets a 2nd place time as he now improves to put that Raora Panthera number 60 into 2nd place. As he is only a few tenths behind on Joshua Zuri. If Kaminari Riba can nail down the start, as we have had a full fuel tank for this round, so no one will be pitting. If Kaminari Riba can set that car on pole position, or he starts 2nd and has an amazing launch into turn 1, because it's a very, very long run from the main straight into turn 1. Dan Evans has improved his time. He now goes up into 3rd. We go back into Riba as he now tries to find any improvements that he can find, as he's now coming into the 2nd sector here into Corentayo. Gets pretty much blocked there by the driver in front. That's Hanaori Miyuki, who is only good enough for 10th. But Kaminari Riba says, I don't really mind that one, as long as you can have a great exit, because... Oh, and that's not a good run so far. Kaminari Riba will need to still make use of the slipstream, and so he will have to consider this lap as a write-off. Leah Kai is improved. She's now up into 4th place for the Sewer Rats. Zetaro has improved his time. He now goes up into 11th place. Meanwhile, we can't focus on him too much. Great Power and Matthias Zacharias now down their Oshis. Zacharias being a proper human and Great Power being a proper chumput who have lost their Oshis. They still have around 3 races to go in the ARO, including this one. But Great Power is looking at a positive side in the grand scheme of things, especially given that Power has been open to taking up the safety car role in ARO competitions. As Great Power still needs to stay ahead of Hasik Yazid in the Shiori number 90. Great Power only has a few corners left for him to deal with as he is about to finish his lap. Riba is currently in 2nd place right now, but we'll see whether or not he's able to improve his lap. Great Power is about to start his lap once again. And timing tower is about to start right now. As we now see Great Power really get himself into turn 1. He is 1.4 seconds back onto the pole time set by Joshua Zurich. Monosetero has improved. He's now up into 7th. And looking into Riba, he has also started his own lap time. Great Power, meanwhile, will he be seeing improvements? He is only 5/100ths of a second behind the pole time. He is in a serious position to steal 2nd place away from Riba. Meanwhile, Riba still, we need to check about him later. Adik-RMS has improved. He's only good enough for 11th. Leah Kai also on a charge. Not far behind. Could be a challenger. Great Power only 6/10ths behind. Riba, meanwhile, 5/10ths behind. Will Riba be able to improve on his lap? We'll have to wait and see. As we're now looking into the last drivers setting their laps. Leah Kai, meanwhile, on a charge here, already making her way, exiting the Biondetti. And now into Buccine. And there's a very good exit so far from Leah as she now is about to cross the line, and it's gonna be... It's not gonna be enough. She will stay 4th. Great Power goes up to 7th. looking into the drivers who have the motorcycle will cross the line. And that will be it. That will be the qualifying session. And with that out of the way, we'd like to say this. Congratulations to Joshua Zurich for another pole position for Maury Calliope. And what a run he has had so far. So anyways, let's take a look into the starting lineup here for the Mugello Super Prix. It's going to be Joshua Zurich on pole position, Dan Evans second place for Ironio 50, making an ENID front row. Kaminari Riba for Raora Panthera starts third in his home race. Leah Kai starts fourth for Hakos Bales. Fifth place goes to Anya Melfissa and Angela Sims. Bonus at 6 for Aura Crony. Seventh place Matthias Zacharias for Nana Shimume in Mume's penultimate start in Formula Hololive. Ray Power starts 8th for Gaugira with Aziz Mwazif 9th for Ayunda Risu. And we got Shirin Novelas as Hadi Yazid in the top 10. Takeda Dachi for Nina Mainais in 11th, Hana Ryuki 12th for Koba Kanaeru, and Louis Boschwald will start last place on the grid after being unable to start the car for qualifying. Anyway, so that being said, we are going to immediately move forward for Leah Kai, who is currently on pole position, or rather Joshua Zuri on pole position, and then alongside her is Dan Evans at the start. We will see how it goes for everyone here as the 5 red lights go on at Mugello. The Mugello Super Prix gets underway, and we'll see how it goes from here as we now can see Joshua Zurich not having a great start. That's Dan Evans, and oh, it's someone already in the wall, and that's Louis Boschwald having trouble all race, and he will not continue any further in the Mugello Super Prix. Race over before he even started. As Dan Evans has not made his, tried to make his move against Azurit, but Azurit manages to defend. Riba stays in third. Angel Simmons 4th, overtakes Leah Kai. Matthias Zacharias in 6th, now in 5th, overtakes Leah Kai. Zetaro down to 7th, Wazip 8th, Frauer 9th, and Takeda Dachi rounds out the top 10. Blistering first lap there from Azurit, looking to get his 2nd consecutive win in Formula Hololive International. And right now, it's gonna be a case on who blinks when. And you can see here, Riba really gets to the back onto Evans, but if he can get close enough, exiting Bushine, and if he does do that, he will be able to essentially line up for an overtake at around as we are about to start lap 2. But right now Zurich is pulling away from the rest of the field, already 2 seconds ahead of the field. Unfortunately, we only have 12 cars running in this race. We have already lost Louis Boschwald at the start, and that is pretty much a massive shame, as we are just going to continue on into the race. Riba tries to line up a pass onto Evans, but he's just too far back. The speed difference is not there yet, so we are just going to continue on. I'm just gonna have to continue on to everyone so far, and right now we are still going to check if there is essentially anything so far. And here comes Kaminari Riba trying to again line up a move against Evans, but he really needs to get close enough on the exit of the long coming into the long main straight after Buccine if he wants to have any shot of actually finally making a pass onto Dan Evans, but he is around 0.5 of a second, and right now this is and now you can see here he is pretty much also quite far back. No one else has been setting 131 other than Joshua Zurich. We might be seeing a repeat of the Spielberg Super Prix, where the pole sitter essentially led all the way to the checkered flag. We might be seeing that, and we will be seeing a massive championship battle. 2-point out, and we are going to pay attention onto that development so far, as we are just going to continue on checking how we can continue. Never mind. We are just going to proceed with this everything so far, and you can see here Angela Sims having a very poor run at the exit of, I believe, Arrabbiata. And here goes Matthias Zacharias into the Scarperia and into Palagio, but Sims manages to defend, and that's a beehive of cars already. And you can see here Adachi trying to defend against Aziz Muazif, the reigning champion. Soon enough he will have to give that crown to either of the 4 or 5 remaining championship contenders. Still a massive question that is going to be into everyone's minds as more racing has come here. Riba has now made his move against Dan Evans, as he's now going to see if he's able to catch up to Josh Azurit. He is running in second right now. Remember, Josh Azurit must be in a winning position, and by that I mean he has to finish with a win. First place, if he wants to go behind 63 points behind Ryan Kagawa. Both Ryan Kagawa and Javier Lusby failed to crack the top 10 by virtue of them DNFing in the currently. We have a really interesting battle on our hands for the title. Azurit is looking to close down the gap as much as he can to be in a position where he's able to essentially steal the title away. Monozetaro has made his move against Liakai. Hazik Yazin and Hanarori Miyuki, meanwhile, are in a battle of their own. As you can see here, Miyuki has now made her move against Hazik Yazid. We have now passed 3.5 laps so far, as everyone now approaches Arrabbiata. Oh wait, not Arrabbiata. Wrong corner. It is actually at Correntayo. .131.957 for Azurit. Riba, meanwhile, will respond with 132.394. Not the response that he is looking for. However, he will try to make something happen. And right now, Riba really wants to win at home. He wants to force the notion, but we will see how far he can go. Anyways, we are just going to check onto the field. Actually, no need to. No one will be pitting. So, in this case, essentially, no one is going to be pitting. And that means everyone's going to have a full run until the checkered flag. Takayadachi getting dangerously close or perilously close to Leah Kai, who's running in 7th. Meanwhile, Angela Sims is running in 4th. And Joshua Zurich continues to set fastest lap after fastest lap. Kaminari Riba, we'll see if he's able to respond. Almost. He just set his own personal best, but he is not catching Zurich anytime soon. And Liam is most likely not happy, given the fact that her rival, which is Angela Sims, is currently leading. Anyways, Riba is currently chasing. But for how much longer is he able to chase? We will see if he's able to chase down. And now there is a massive question mark to see right now. And right now we are still in a massive question mark. And right now we're also checking out Liakai, already holding back at least actually about 5 cars. And right now we are seeing if there are really any moves to be done. And right now there is nothing to report so far, other than, well, Riba seeing if he's able to find some time against Azurid. And right now Riba hasn't been able to do so. This means that essentially he's pulling away Joshua Azurid against Riba. So Azurid is in a very realistic position to win here and to essentially close down the gap. What lap are we in right now? Oh yeah, lap 7. Great Power has made his move against Hanari Miyuki, as he is now into 9th, trying to close out the season for Gaogura in the best way possible. Feels like he wants to do a steep park, but right now he is currently in 9th. Obviously, he has to continue on with proceedings even after Gura has essentially graduated from Hololive. We still have a few races left for Gura before all of this is done. Also trying to make a move against Hanari Miyuki, but that hasn't worked so far. Azurid 131.908. Kaminari Riba, what is his response? It is gonna be a 132.734. So already a second faster. Josh Azurid is still leading this race. So well, that is that. And now we are checking about Riba, currently in second place, trying to chase Azurid. But this time we also have Azurid Hanari Miyuki trading places now. Miyuki now falling down the order as she is now in 11th. Yazid meanwhile chasing in 12th place. And now you can see here, if there will be any battles coming up, we will let you know. And here's Isaac having a good run off of Arabiata, seeing if he can get close enough, and the answer is no. Miyuki will have the slight advantage. And now we will see if Yazid's able to have a great exit. The answer is no. This time Yazid gets again closer to Miyuki, but Miyuki hasn't been able to fend off the charges from Yazid. Zacharias meanwhile stays in 5th, chasing Angela Sims for 4th. As Zacharias tries to go down the inside, but he's just too far back, and that's that. He gets again ever so closer into, and we'll see if Zacharias can line up a move at the exit of Arabiata. You can see here the amount. Oh, locks up the rear, and that's going to mean he's going to lose a lot of time and about to be under pressure for Bono Zetaro. Yekai's gonna try everything she can to get herself ahead of Sims, but right now Sims is in 4th, much to her dismay. Speaking of which, Joshua Zurit has kind of slowed down. Let's see how his lap goes. He is only able to set a 132.4. Riba is I believe, is conserving the tires. 132.7, so slightly faster this time. Zurit over Riba. Yeah. Doing very well there, Riba, as he now is in. Still having a decent shout to find a way past Azurid, but Azurid has done very, very well to be in the lead so far. Anywho, we still have the race to talk about. Monozetaro still chasing. Oh, and that's trying to go around the outside of Zacharias, but Zacharias has now been struggling for grip, and his exits haven't been pretty good. Large amount for Monozetaro as he almost pushes him off wide, and that was a mistake from Zetaro, trying to avoid contact from Zacharias, oversteered into the grass, and that is gonna cost him a 5th place for now. Ooh, tons of racing action right now. 132.4 for Azurid, 132.9, I believe, for Riba, based on what we're seeing. And yes, we did. I only guessed it, and I was basically spot on. That Evans, meanwhile, is catching up, though. And laps complete here in the Mugello Super Prix, and we still have a race on our hands. We will be racing in Monza in Holotype later on. This will give Enzio for this one, but this time it will be given to Enzio Ferrari, who is the true driver for Raora Panthera, as in truth, Riba is focusing his attention to Shishiro Botan, where he did actually get a top 5 finish in the Yongnam 400 Zaku Series race. Anyways, Liakai currently in 7th, chasing Mono. And right now, Liakai still chasing Mono like there's no tomorrow. After Zetaro's mistake, he is now basically unable to catch up to Zacharias. And right now we are still checking right now on whether or not Riba has been able to catch. Looks like it is. He's still kind of there, but the gap's still open up to 8 seconds. This is where Azura is right now. Riba is currently in 2nd. And so right now, we'll see how it develops from here. Angela Sims, you are in a comfortable position in 4th. Liakai, meanwhile, chasing Monozetaro. This will, oh, by the way, just to remind everyone, this will be the last ARO streams before I will be on vacation. So expect some quiet times in the organization until I return on maybe May 28th. Then we will get back onto race preparations. But I will still post as I will be on vacation. As you can see here, Liakai still charging on. 7th place for the Hakos Bales driver, potentially 6th as he tries to pull one back against Angela. Mikai, meanwhile, is also still in this title fight, I believe, if I am not mistaken, because if you look into the standings right now, actually, yes, Liakai is still in this championship hunt, and she will need at least a 3rd place if she wants to get herself back in title contention. And as it stands right now, with Kaminari Riba in 2nd, he is going to also bring Raora Panthera and Enzio Ferrari to a title fight. So Kaminari Riba essentially being a team player at home to essentially give Enzio Ferrari a chance to win silverware at the end of the season. A chance, it is a chance, but this does require him winning, and if he doesn't win, then he will not have enough points to essentially mount a charge against the leading contenders. And right now, as it stands right now, he will be out of title contention by 7 points. Mathematically, he will be out. So right now, this is a race of multiple proportions for Riba. This will still be dependent on whether or not Azurit is able to stay where he is right now. Miyuki and Yazid are in a potential battle. Muazif and Prower as well. So we are seeing if there will be any more drama coming right up as the stream continues to play, as the race continues to go on. Azurit, meanwhile, knows what he needs to do and is gonna try to give it everything he has against the odds, or not exactly against the odds, but he will be one step closer to be able to overtake Ryan Kagawa at the final race of the season in Mandalika. And right now we are checking at Great Prowse on board as Aziz Muazif is making his chase known. He's gonna go down the inside against Great Prower. Prower, how will he defend? Around the outside, he manages to get a good run, but not before he messed it up. It will be Aziz Muazif in 9th place. And what a move that was, as we are going to proceed forward in this race. Wait, what is going on? What? Anywho, we are just going to proceed as usual. Zurit up all the way from the rest of the field by 10 seconds. Loe Boschval is already out. Here's Yazi coming into turn 8. It's called, turn 6, Casanova. Joshua Zurit, meanwhile, is in the main straight. That is how fast Zurit and to an extent Riba is. And you can see the field has been separated by some few seconds between each other. But Matthias Zacharias, meanwhile, also chasing in 5th. Matthias Zacharias currently in 5th against Angela Sims in 4th. Zacharias still making chase against Angela Sims, trying to make up for what Bertelsen had done in the Nürburgring Super Prix a few weeks ago. Zacharias looking to finalize his charge in Mumesa's final start in ARO competitions. All he needs is a miracle. What will the miracle look like? We have no clue. Right now, with no pit stops currently going on, the variance has remained pretty low. Kaminari Riba currently in second, Dan Evans in third. We will check on to the situation here. Dan Evans is also slowly catching up to Kaminari Riba. No matter what happens, Riba needs to win this race to stay in title contention. Azure needs to win to give him the best shot of competing against Ryan Kagawa for the title. So we still have lots of questions to be asked as the race continues to progress. Yes, the race has continued to progress right now. We got Dan Evans now chasing Kaminari Riba. Riba has been under pressure from Evans for quite some time. Evans is already out of title contention. There, and right now we are just going to check if there is Anywho, we still have meanwhile Gazetaro already making his move against Matthias Zacharias this time. Oh, but he has gone wide, and that might open the door for Zacharias to try to fight back, but this time it's gonna be Zetaro staying in the lead. I mean in fifth. Dan Evans, meanwhile, still in third place, chasing Kaminari Riba. In a pretty interesting afternoon here in Scarpere e San Piero. As Evans, meanwhile, is still looking to find a way past Riba. And right now we are just checking on if Evans can make the move against Riba, but Riba is gonna be defending in second place, but we'll see how it goes. Riba still charging forward in second place. Zacharias, meanwhile, in sixth place, looking to stay where he is right now, but he is gonna see if he can make a move against Mono Zetaro in fifth place. And right now Zacharias checking if there is anything to report. And looking at Zacharias now trying to get himself back against Zetaro. You saw there coming into the S of Materassi and Borgo San Lorenzo. And this time Zetaro manages to defend. Now I see Zacharias. Oh, what a move around the outside against Zetaro. That was bold there from Zacharias. And now Leah Kai is gonna be seeing if she can make something happen against Zetaro. And right now, Leah Kai, will there be moves? There, I think the answer is gonna be somewhat. And right now, it's gonna be Zetaro in 6. Meanwhile, Dan Evans is still gonna be trying to chase Kaminari Riba. Azurit has also slightly plateaued in terms of his lap time, but he is still 13 seconds ahead of Riba. Meanwhile, Yazid chasing Hanari Miyuki's gap. Gap's now only at 11 seconds. Raora in 10th place. Yazid having a very great run off of the final corner, is gonna try to make a move in the main straight against Hanari Miyuki. Hazik's on the jersey number 90 and is already starting to peel away against the Kobo car. And they're now coming into turn 1. Yazid's around the outside. Miyuki's on the inside. Miyuki has to go for a sharp run, but you see here Yazid manages to stay ahead. Ripower still staying in 10th. Wazif 9th. Adachi 8th. 7th place Liakai trying to chase Mono Zetaro. 5th place, which they might be moved around the outside at Arabiata too, but nothing so far. But Liakai has a great run, and that will put Leah in a position to already go side by side of Mono Zetaro there, and that is a pass well done from Liakai. Liakai up in 6th. The only thing separating her between Angela Sims is Matthias Zacharias, currently in 5th place. Lloyd Boschfall parked in the pits, not making anything happen. Evans 3rd, Kaminari Riba 2nd. Whew! 19 laps complete, almost into the halfway stage. We still have a long way to go. Meanwhile, Zetaro still staying where he is right now. Adachi 8th, Wazif 9th. Dan Evans currently in 3rd. Riba in 2nd place, making his way. And looking back into the gaps, and right now it is looking okay at the moment, but we will have to still see how it goes from here. Riba still being chased by Azurit. Aziz Muazif now under pressure from Takeda Adachi, or rather Takeda Adachi under pressure from Aziz Muazif. They're now almost alongside at the start finish straight. And into turn 1, and it's Aziz Muazif already making a great exit and already braking very well into turn 1, hasn't got off the grass, and it's Aziz Muazif in 8th place now. Ooh, great move there from the Risu Ner. Yes, that is a thing. So, anywho, we are just going to meanwhile, we are just going to be checking. Anyways, we are seeing here 133.978 for Azurid. Riba has only been able to set 134s. And there we are. Hernandez Riba still staying where he is right now. They've only been able to set a 134, and right now we are seeing if there's anything of note that will happen. And right now we're still at 21 laps complete, and the race has essentially calmed down. And right now we are seeing way less attrition than we had and what we have seen in the Spielberg Super Prix. So that is already a positive. And we are just going to proceed to take a look into Dan Evans already making a charge against Riba. And now Evans is really trying to make something happen. Tries to go around the outside, but nothing coming out of it now. And right now we are checking if there might be moves or not. Right now everyone is essentially separated by over a second. Zetaro and the Kai. But take nothing away from Kaminari Riba. He has tried everything in the book so far to put that Raora Panthera number 60 up into a near winning position. And maybe if it comes down to Azuri making a mistake somewhere. I ran out where Hanaro Miyuki is, and she is currently in the main straight right now. Joshua Zurich meanwhile is already at Arrabbiata. So it won't be long until Azuri inevitably catches the lap car of Hanaro Miyuki. And now you can see here Joshua Zurich having lost some time now. We now set to 135.067. It might not be over yet for the Raora fans on Raora's birthday, no less. Kaminari Riba. He's been able to set a 134.424. It is not over yet, everyone. If you can, at the very least, try to see what's going on here. Kaminari Riba has set a faster lap time than Joshua Zurich, which means that in races, he's actually catching up. Will it continue this way? We will have to wait and see. Because Riba is currently still on a charge right now, but we'll see how far he can go before it all comes down back to the status quo. And speaking of it, we have Zetaro and Leah Kai now trading places once again. Zetaro will now place himself back into 6th, but not before he makes a mistake into turn 1, and that will allow Leah Kai back into the mix, and Leah Kai is back in 6th. Woo! That's some great racing here in Mugello as we're about to go into the halfway stage. Meanwhile, as we're just checking everyone else, we are checking out Zetaro, who is already on his way against Muazif. Yazid, meanwhile, against Great Prower. Lap 25, and that means we have officially reached the halfway stage, and right now the gaps have plateaued at 14 seconds between Azurit and Riba. Azurit is here, Miyuki is here, Miyuki is in the final corner. Azurit has already exited Arrabbiata. This means one thing, we might be seeing lap cars at around lap 40. so much later than we have seen in the Spielberg Super Bowl. And right now we are just checking. All right, so anyways, just wanted to add to some facts here. We are just right now we are just going to point out a few more things. We are currently checking on something. Yes, it is Raora Panthera's birthday. Happy birthday, Raora, from the Adak-RMS organization. Right now, Kaminari Riba is going to try his best to give you a result. And we'll see if he's able to chase Zurid for the win here and to put that Raora number 60 in title contention. It will come down to the wire at Mandalika, no matter what happens. And we are essentially checking if anything can still happen in the final stages. And right now Riba still on the hunt for his win here. But right now it is becoming increasingly possible unless lap cars really do make issues with the rest of the field here. Joshua Zurid will be crossing the line, and will it still match or will it go to Kaminari Riba? Because right now it's a 14-second gap worth mentioning. 1:35.0 for Zurid. Everyone are tires are essentially worn, but who have managed it the best? And right now it is Riba, 1:35.048, so everyone has plateaued at a 1:35. Meanwhile, Zacharias and Angela Sims have essentially traded blows between each other. Here they come into the final corner. And that's Matthias Zacharias now up into 4th. Great power. It's about to move on to 10th. That's Hadik Yazid. Hadik Yazid trying to go alongside Great Power and has beached himself into the gravel. That will be our first retirement after Ludwig Boschval. But they will still score points. Meanwhile, you got Sims and Zacharias. Oh, and Zacharias going wide. And Zacharias moves up into 4th. Amazing development here in the Mugello Super Prix. What developments have we seen? And speaking of which, we are just going to update the current driver lineup. Wasif now up into 7th place against Bono Zetaro. Joshua Zurid looking to win here and to put himself only 63 points behind the leader Ryan Kagawa for one last shot at the title in Mandalika. As it stands right now, that is because right now Kaminari Riba is chasing, trying to give Enzio Ferrari the platform he needs to fight for the title, even if it's going to cause some issues to Josh. Meanwhile, Dan Evans also driving a very solid race to still stay in 3rd place, although his championship has been already run for 14 seconds behind the leader, Kaminari Riba. Oh, almost made a big mistake there. But anywho, we are still going to continue racing here. We got Kaminari Riba. Right now, Riba is technically back at the 13 seconds behind Zurid. We'll see if Let's see what Miyuki's lap time is. Miyuki has just exited the turns 2 and 3. Azuri is now coming to the final corner. Timetables say that Miyuki has only set a 1:36.3, so Azuri is catching her by a second a lap, assuming he stays in the 1:35s. .35.7 already for Azuri. Kaminari Riba might have a response if he does have any. Well, will that response be enough? And the answer is going to be 1:30.5507. Only 4 tenths slower. With around 20 laps to go, will it be enough? That will be a big question. Kaminari Miyuki has just exited and is now currently in turn 12. That is essentially Correntaio. Joshua Azuri, meanwhile, is dancing through in Savelli and into the Arrabbiata corners. Kaminari Riba, meanwhile, is in a position to make something happen, as he's currently in second. And right now, there's still nothing between the two. It has to be a mistake from Joshua Azuri at this point. Dan Evans, meanwhile, catching Kaminari Riba at a rate of not. Riba's lost a lot of time in that second sector. Evans has also lost a lot of time in that second sector. Azuri, meanwhile, has stayed very consistent no matter what. Azuri having no issues so far. 1:35.3 for him. Meanwhile, Kaminari Riba is going to essentially still stay where he is right now, 1:35.7. So he actually, his chances of winning this race and to remain in title contention has become slimmer and slimmer by the minute. Azuri wants to close on the gap as much as he can, and to do it with a win will essentially mean that he will be the second repeat winner in Formula Hololive International this season for the driver, third time for talent. Sergio Fauna did it first, then Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame, and if Azuri hangs on, Mori Calliope. Still. That's Riba still charging his way towards the win, but right now the gap has opened itself back up. Kaminari Miyuki currently in 11th for Kobo Kanaero, and just exited turn 1. Joshua Azuri, meanwhile, is coming into the final corner right now. So the chances of lap cars are becoming increasingly lower, and everyone who finishes the race will be on the lead lap. Enzio trying to get close though to Mwazif, but still nothing to report, as we are still going to see if this race continues to be as it is. Zetaro gets very close there, almost goes out wide, and gaps open up to 15 seconds between Azuri and Riba. Azuri's going to be a very, very excited man coming into the final race of the season. Continues to be one of the best drivers for Mori Calliope, period. Haven't been able to talk about that one. Riba still hunting for his win. Azuri still holding on to this lead. If he does win, he will be in a position where he can be considered as to be considered as a legitimate title contender to Kagawa. Meanwhile, Zacharias also coming through to bring about a very solid result for the humans, despite the season that they have endured so far. Evans getting very close to Kaminari Riba as he now goes down the inside into the final corner. That might cause more trouble for Riba, but Riba now has a better exit off of the final corner to stay ahead for now. Evans chasing Riba. He has him where he needs to be because the outside line is the one that works into turn 1. Unless Riba decides to squeeze him off. And that is Evans making a mistake and staying ahead of Riba. Italians who are watching this are not going to be happy about this. Meanwhile, Angela Sims continues to stay in 5th. Leah Kai is in 6th right now, trying to chase her rival. Yes, I think it's fair that we can call it that, as Evans will now try to make his way into another great run of another great result. But will Riba be able to step up? Looks like Miyuki is already in turn 1. Is already into the chicane, into Biondetti. So we are one step closer to one step closer. Here comes Riba trying to make a move once again on Evans. Riba has that cornering ability, but Evans has that straight line advantage. If you look at their rear wings, they just so happen to match, but their driving styles do have some variance between the two, as you see here. Riba is pretty close, but it's not close enough though against Evans. If you want to see the essentially the progress chart, they both have stayed put from where they started. Matthias Zacharias gained 3 positions. No changes so far, so they will have to stay put. So, anyways, we are getting pretty tired right now, but we have to proceed. I'm just trying to save energy for the Indy 500 coming up. And right now, Riba still chasing Dan Evans for 2nd place. And right now, Riba really trying to get something happen. As you can see here, he is trying his best to get into 2nd, back to at least bring home a very great result. I mean, 3rd place is already good enough as it is. However, as you can see here, Riba now already is closing back in. Evans and Riba are essentially equal in lap times, as they're way faster than both of them so far. Miyuki is now into turn 12 right here in Correntaio. Meanwhile, Joshua Zurich are ready in Casanova and Savelli. A few steps closer for him to get blocked by lap cars by Hanari Miyuki. Osiwazi meanwhile catching up to Monozetaro. And just continuing on as usual. Right now we still have something to look forward to, as the Evans have now pulled away from Riba. The gap's now 135.8 between himself and Riba. Dan Evans, Zurich meanwhile, almost home free to essentially get this win for Warren Calliope for a second successive time. Anywho, we are looking at anyways, Wasif now trying to still find something against Borazet. At least Riba is around 11 seconds ahead of Zacharias, so his place on the podium, in spite of all the odds, have remained pretty much valiant. Joshua Zurich has now just crossed the final corner to essentially finish his lap here to start lap 36. There's Hanari Miyuki. Currently in the turn 5, Materassi and Borgo San Lorenzo. So, really not that long, but at the same time, we are coming into 13 laps to go here in Mugello. Miyuki into the final few corners here to finish our lap. We will see where Zurid is, and he is in the chicane. Not gonna lie though, Miyuki being able to set pretty decent lap times to avoid getting lapped is also a thing to behold. 137.6. Zurich meanwhile also been able to set 135s, and given the length of this track as well, so that this also plays a part as well. Meanwhile, Zurich, lost some time. Was 137.6 from Yuki, 137.2 from Azuri. So actually, Azuri hasn't been able to catch up. Neither does everyone, I believe, because they're all setting 137s and 136 at this point after the tires have absolutely been worn down. So, wonder if Krono's here to watch the stream. Lap 37 and still counting down to what will be a fitting conclusion for this race, at least for Azuri's perspective. But for Riba, he never really thought that he would try to at least fight for the top 5, let alone stay on the podium. And if he does even win this race, he will bring the Raora number 60 into title contention in the final race of the season at Mandalika, and against all the odds, no less, on Raora Panthera's birthday. But right now, when you think about realism, this is what you're going to be dealing with. Hanari Miyuki, 137 to 161, as I think has already pulled away from Joshua Zurid, who is starting to show signs of struggle in this car, but I think he has a pretty big gap. You might see a last lap gasp for the win. Zurid wants to stay in this position, to stay at 67 points, 63 points behind the championship leader. Ray Prower looking to stay in 10th place in his penultimate race for Galgira in Formula Hololive International,
and Galgura's penultimate race in the Formula Hololive International. Kaminari Riba will be the last car running out on track. Takeda Adachi also having a pretty quiet race. He is currently in 9th. Is actually having a pretty quiet race. So as it stands right now, the last drivers in title contention will be Ryan Kagawa, Joshua Zurit, Javier Lusby, and Yuri Rafael de Oliveira. And with the Raora Panthera team missing out currently by 32 points. As this is what we mentioned, they need a win if they want to bring this championship to Raora and all the Cittini. And you can see how worn the tires are, as you can see here by the amount of wear and tear on those tires. The tires are already begging enough, but everyone is going to have to continue making the zero stop strategy in this race, but we will see how it goes. Lap 39 about to start. It will be Joshua Zurit now setting 136.717s. Who will be able to respond with this lap time? That's going to be a pretty interesting question to answer. Into the final 10 laps of this race. Evans and Riba need to find either 1.5 or 2 seconds a lap against Zurid, or Zurid makes a fatal mistake. And by fatal, I mean not the one that takes his life, but fatal in the context that it will send him out of the race. And what a result this will be for the deadbeats, including himself. Zurid have done no wrong here in the competition. Ever since joining, since the Singapore Grand Prix, it has been a case of just getting this done so far. And right now, Zurit just needs to stay calm. He just needs to be where he needs to be. Just needs to keep it under control. He just needs to do it. And if he's able to do it, then very much a good job. Anyways, Riba have now lost touch to Dan Evans. Dan Evans has been the faster driver. Zacharias also has done a very good job into keeping the national moment number 21 in contention. At least in 4th place. He will gain a few positions. And speaking of which, we are just checking on how it has been so far. Because right now in the split rounds, it has been all good in the chin. And if we look at the essentially the Super Prix standings, which will conclude at the end of the season, Ryan Kagawa is still essentially your winner. If you look at the points per split, as you can see here, he has been very, very consistent, somewhat. Got that second place. Let's check. Ooh, just wanted to. Oh yeah, Joshua Zurich will be the king of the splits, king of the Super Prix after winning 2 races. Not far behind will be Evelyn Kuromi in the ERB number 53. Also shared in a shared effort with Tyler Williams. Sven Jensen actually has been the best driver, their best driver actually, in the Super Prix standings. Actually, we do want to award a Super Prix awarded for the Super Prix champion and the Grand Prix champion and the overall champion. So we are just going to do some modifications. So we are just going to do this. So we are just going to update this, so instead of average it will be sum. So I'm just going to see hang on, I am just going to see if I can do some adjustments as Beno Zetaro has made his pass onto Lia Kai. Beno Zetaro already making his move quite clear, and he has essentially stayed where he needs to be. He is now in 6th place. Let me just get that double check. And then as we're going to do some slight adjustments to the Super Prix table. And right now, GORT. So anyways, we have had a bit of a confirmation here. Joshua Zurich will be the Super Prix champion, by the way. This won't be officially awarded as we have just come up with the idea, but this will be something that we will be implementing in future rounds. So that will be something to pay attention to. And then we also have and as for the Grand Prix standings, it will be Ryan Kagawa, Javier Lusby, and Joshua Zurich. And it turns out, though, that there are some good Super Prix performers who didn't perform very well in the Grand Prix. For example, Sven Jensen, who scored half of his points in a Super Prix than a Grand Prix. Also, we got Dan Evans, who also performed in a Super Prix. He is 4th in the Super Prix standings. Matthias Zacharias taking over for Ethan Burleson, also done the same. Great Power and before this Evelyn Cromie have underperformed by all metrics, unfortunately. And right now we are coming into the final stages of this race. Joshua Zurich currently in 4th place, currently in 2nd place in the second place in the overall standings, 3rd place in the Grand Prix standings. What a title fight we have on our hands, and what I mean, I am just I'm just awestruck. I'm just as awestruck as everyone is right now, and yeah, can't wait to see how it can't wait to see how the finale goes in Mandalika, the finale Grand Prix in Mandalika for the international season. Oh yeah, Formula Hololive will be renewed for at least one more season. There will be a 2026 Formula Hololive Japan, and there will be a 25-26 Formula Hololive International. Owing to the recency of the bright outfits. Zurich showing no signs of essentially no signs of wearing down. Joshua Zurich continuing to charge and charge and charge non-stop until the end. Ooh, and right now we are checking if there's anything left to note. Kai versus Angela Sims. Ooh. And right now here comes the heated battle that you might want to pay attention to. It is Leah Kai versus Angela Sims for 6th place. Well, looks like we have some inner thoughts from Zurich as he is about to come home with a consecutive win, and to give him a realistic chance to fight Ryan Kagawa for the title, only coming in since the Indonesia Super Prix, or since the Indonesia Grand Prix. Well, he has something for Mother's Day dinner, and right now, if he has anything for Mother's Day dinner, I do want to know, because I do want to have some meals with Mother coming soon, maybe tonight. But anywho, we still have 3 laps to go, and Missouri is now currently 20 seconds ahead of the rest of the field, and he will absolutely be pumped about this one. Bouncing back from a disappointing Sebring 80-minute run, which he was involved in an incident with, I believe, Leah Kai, where Leah Kai got clipped into the wall, got sent into a spin that collected Joshua Zurich into a spin and him out of the race. This will be something to remember. Jake Martinez raced in the first 5 races, true, but let's not discredit his efforts as well. So it will be a shared championship if Joshua Zurich wins this one against. If Joshua Zurich wins this championship, then he will also need to attribute this to Jake Martinez, who did race for Jake Martinez before Joshua Zurich took over. As with Evan Cromie and Tyler Williams, we have essentially done a very amazing job so far this season. Also, Joshua Zurich, hats off to him. He's been able to adjust to the rigors of the competition very, very smoothly. Whoop. saw bits of saw some sparks flying. This is interesting. Red sparks flying. Particles. As you know, I was about to come to Casanova. Or rather, that's not Casanova. It is actually the Scarberry and Palagio. And into... Oh, locks up just a bit. He just needs to keep it safe. He's 18 seconds ahead of the lead, ahead of everyone else. So, he absolutely needs to keep it safe before anything else can happen. Josh Azurit coming to the final corner to start the final lap of the race. Final lap of the Mugello Super Prix. And this is what people talk about. People talk about if Azurit can win this, then he's able to close down the gap to Kagawa to 63 points. 63 points will mean that if Azurit wins, well, if, as long as Kagawa doesn't finish third or higher, then it will be Azurit with the championship with Mori Calliope. And also don't forget Jake Martinez as well. But, man, the Deadbeats, you have one amazing driver on your hands right now. Joshua Azurit will be in the precipice of something great. Destiny is calling him. It's calling him to be something of a force to be reckoned with. Only a few corners for him to deal with coming into the two Arrabbiata corners. Azurit has had an amazing development, and ever since joining the Mori Calliope ride, after Singapore, the Mori Calliope team, get this, was only in 21st place. What a comeback this has been for Mori Calliope team and for Joshua Azurit to bring that Mori Calliope car to a championship contending position from 21st place. We haven't seen that since Alex Forti Farakama and Yuki Hanalami. But now we have Dan Evans crashing in the final lap. And Joshua Azurit will cross the line from being a nobody to a championship contender. Joshua Azurit wins the Mugello Super Prix. Dan Evans spins out at, I believe, coming into Scarperia. And this will allow Kaminari Riba to bring home second place for Raora Panthera. It will not be enough for the Raora Panthera team to be in the championship battle at Mandalika. But man, what a great run that has been from the Falcetino. As Kaminari Riba crosses the line, he will take second. And Matias Zacharias, third place for the human. It had to come after Mume graduated, but it was a great result nonetheless. Dan Evans will only be good enough for 11th place, and this will change the complexion of the championship. My goodness. We are just as gobsmacked as you are. And right now, with the race properly concluded, we are going to show you the updated championship standings in due time. Zetero 4th, Sims 5th, Kai 6th, Mwazif 7th, Adachi 8th, Flower 9th, and Miyuki's about to score 10th. Oh my goodness. Whew. That was at least something to talk about as we get to see Hanari Miyuki again cross the line. We will finally end off this end of a day of Hololive racing in the ARO with the results, and it's going to be Joshua Azurit with a momentous win to put him 63 points behind Ryan Kagawa. It's not over yet for the Deadbeats with his second consecutive win of the season. Kaminari Riba has tried all he can to bring home a result, and that he did, but it will not be enough for him to be in title contention in Mandalika, to be passed over to Enzio Ferrari. But again, this will be a race to remember for Riba. Matias Zacharias with also a race to remember in third place in his Formula Hololive debut, no less. He finishes third for the Nashimumi. Monozetaro 4th for Oro Crony, Angela Sims 5th for Anya Melfisa, Hakos Bell, Cecilia Kai 6, Aziz Mwazi 7 for Risu, Adachi 8 for Ina, Ray Prower 9 for Gaugura with 10 place Hanari Mikiko for Koba Karaeru. Dan Evans 11 for Irony Io 15 after a last lap spin. Hazi Yazi 12 for Sherry Novella and Lloyd Boschwald 13 for Cecilia Immigreen. Ian Rico is now over at least the second chapter, as well as Formula Hololive International Round 11. But it will be interesting to see what happened to Dan Evans in the final lap of the race. And, well, it gets pretty interesting to look at, because here's what happened to Dan Evans. Coming into Scarperia. Oh, locked the front and essentially beat himself to the gravel, trying to get back. But, ooh, that was a bit embarrassing. Hit too much under brakes here. Here's what happened to Evans. Oh, locked the front right. Sent himself into the tire bear, to the gravel trap. Can't continue. And that is him out of the race. Not the way that you will be going. But anywho, we are going to check the standings finally, as we are going to check on who will be our final contenders for the title. And it is going to be... It is going to be Ryan Kagawa at 1,916 points, Joshua Zuri at 1,853, Lusby at 1,810, and Yuri Rafa de Oliveira at 1,537 points. And for the best driver in the Super Prix, look no further than Joshua Zurin, who have scored 580 points over everyone else in the split, everyone in the Super Prix. So he will be the split A champion. Evan Cromie will be the split B champion. However, this championship is unofficial for this season. We will implement it for next season, so stay tuned for that. Also for the Grand Prix ones, it is still to be decided, but Ryan Kagawa still leads over Javier Lusby and Joshua Zurid. Man, what a comeback to talk about. If he can seal it at Mandalika with an amazing deathly drive, then this championship will be just as remembered as Putifara Kamal's charge in the 2022 Hololive TT3 Japan Split Series. Anyways, here are your standings. Here you can read it at your own time. 4 drivers are left in the title hunt, as we will also officially officiate on who is out of title contention. So here is what it looks like. So take your time to read on who gets to finish where, and also Matias Zakaris gets into the top 20 after his podium finish. And with that out of the way, we'd like to thank everyone else for tuning into the stream. We would like to thank everyone for your dedication to the organization. Anyways, if you also don't mind, there's also the Indy 500 and also the Indy Lights race coming up in the VTuber Racing Project channel in 2 hours' time. Hopefully you're able to tune in. It's spelled as INDIE 500. So hopefully you're able to tune into that as well. So with that being said, we'd like to thank everyone for your commitment for today. My name is Robert Chazarez in the commentary booth. We'll be on break for the next 2 weeks before we resume with Holotypes' second biggest race of the season, the Le Mans 5 hours. Hopefully everyone knows tuning in for that. With that being said, take care everyone and stay tuned for the next race. We'll see you there.